All right, good evening, everyone. I'll be starting this new series of conversation about our faith, about our belief, about so many things that people have questioned and queried, and has really been confusing to many. So what I will try to do in this session or in this series is to answer some very important questions. I don't know how many parts it will be, depending on how the conversation go. I don't know how many parts it will be, but the objective is also because of there are a lot of people out there that have issues with Christianity, understandably so. Issue with the Bible, understandably so. Issue with Africa and traditional religion, understandably so. What many have not realized is the fact that there is something wrong with the kind of Christianity we practice in Africa. It looks like the Christianity we practice in Africa has incapacitated us and is making younger people to become more rebellious, making them to ask questions that no one is answering. A number of them just feel we are just deceiving ourselves and really don't believe what we claim to believe. So, to many of them, Christianity is not real. Christianity is plastic. Christianity is theoretical. And sincerely, is making many of them not to believe all that have been said or what they have been taught. You know, it was easier for older generation to believe some things that they are told by religious leaders. And you know the interesting thing? Some of those religious leaders have come out to admit that they are wrong. But when it was said at that time, the people who are now parents accepted it. They believed it. They believed it because it was said by someone they respected. But the fact that a number of them now have admitted they were wrong should be the reason why you cannot just believe what everybody's saying. You need to check some of these things up yourself. So we are in the era where there are a lot of people asking different questions. And because there is so much access to information, is giving younger people the leverage, the opportunity, the strength, the power to be able to ask the right question that their parents never asked. So when they ask those questions, rather than answering them, rather than encouraging them to provide answer to the question, even if you don't have the right answer at that time, what the older generation do is to demonize those young people for daring to even ask those kind of questions in the first place. For daring to even ask those kind of questions in the first place. So this series is aimed at answering questions of atheists, agnostic, and those that have issue with Christianity. And the essence is to use the answer to this question to strengthen their faith in God and leverage on it to find a reason to live for God on the earth by fulfilling their calling. Let me start by saying Christianity is not the same as religion. Religion is dangerous than cocaine. Religion, as we know it, cannot survive it. Someone has predicted the next 10 years or max the next 20 to 25 years. Religion cannot survive it. And that's why some of the things that were preached could hold water in those days because of the prevailing ignorance in the society. but could not hold water today because of the prevailing knowledge, information available to the society. I'll try to answer the question as much as I can, but let me establish something. As many that are in doubt of their concern, as many that are in doubt of their belief in Christianity, are the first people I want to respond to. People that are doubting Bible, Christianity, and existence of God. There's a big challenge in our society today. Many Christians, even pastors' children, and I dare say even some pastors themselves, are becoming atheists simply because of the questionable brand of the gospel that has been presented to us. The brand of the gospel presented to us, I was listening to a lady on TikTok. The lady is a young lady, but very ferocious in his view against the belief that Christianity has damaged the psyche of Africa. How we pray for what we don't have any business praying for. How Christianity and religion has made us look stupid and foolish. And they have a point. The only extreme for me is that if you now throw away the concept of God, what will happen is that it will make you to be like the people you are trying to talk against. And what I mean by that is this. Take, for example, an atheist that doesn't believe in God. An atheist that believes in science and don't believe in God is like sustaining. You can't sustain that defense or that position. It's either you believe in science and believe in God, or you don't believe in science and you don't believe in God. Because you believe in science and you believe in Fick's first law of motion of Newton that says that everything continues in the state of rest or a uniform motion on a straight line unless compelled by an external force to act otherwise. If you believe that statement and you don't believe in God, my question to you is, how is the earth rotating on its axis with nobody touching it? How is the earth revolving around the sun once in a year and nobody touching it? The earth cannot rotate or revolve, creating day and night, creating seasons around the year, if there is nothing touching it, according to Newton's law of motion. So it's either you believe in Newton's physics law of motion, or you believe that God exists. Now, you can call it universe, you can call it supernatural forces, you can call it, whatever name you choose to call it, I don't have any issue with that. But what you know is that there is a supreme power, a supreme being, a supreme force beyond all of us. If you are thinking, you must accept that. If you don't accept that, then you cannot sustain the thought of saying there is no God. Because the argument is self-defeating. For example, if you carry a baby and you take a sharp knife and slash the baby into two, is that good or bad? Someone say, yeah, that's bad now. Why would you do such a thing? To see that something is good or bad means there is a moral law. To have a moral law means there is a moral law giver. So who gave the moral law? So you cannot, as an atheist, say there is no God and yet believe in the fact that some things are good and the fact that some things are bad. Believing in something good and another thing bad in itself. It's a self-defeating argument which cannot be sustained. A self-defeating argument which cannot be sustained. And the reason is because you believe in moral law, which was given by a moral lawgiver, but you don't want to believe. You don't want to believe. You believe in moral law by a moral lawgiver, but you don't want to believe in the existence of God. It's a very self-defeating argument. So there's a big problem in our society. A lot of young people are becoming atheists, agnostic, and some are even animists. Who is an atheist? A person who disbelieves or lack belief in the existence of God. Who is an agnostic? A person who believes that nothing is known and nothing can be known about the existence of God. Nothing is known and nothing can be known about the existence of God, or about the nature of God, or about anything beyond material phenomena. A person who claims neither faith nor disbelief in God. He doesn't believe in anything. There are animists. The attribution of a living soul to plant, inanimate object, and natural phenomenon. Attribution of living soul to inanimate object. For example, idol worshiping is animism. When you attribute life, or quality that can only be found in human to an inanimate object. Christians are not just turning into an atheist. It might interest you to know that a lot of people who go to church, preach in church, sing in church, serve in church, do not believe in the God being preached in the church. Why? So it's not the atheists. Why are these people not believing in the God being preached in the church? The reason is because they can't see the manifestation of that God. Most of the things that many pastors claim the God can do, really, it doesn't happen. So because a number of the young people are very curious, asking very important questions, they are beginning to doubt this God that they say is existing. But we pray about this thing. For example, Nigeria. You had vigil and pray and fast for Nigeria to be better, but Nigeria has been worse. So how do you explain to a young person who was involved in that prayer and fasting for the growth and advancement of Nigeria? How do you explain to him? Now, how do you convince us a young person about the fact that he should believe in that God? Why? Because the brand of Christianity we are practicing is defective. It's not the productive Christianity. So young people cannot defer to the claim of God that we present. Because really and truly, their parents are not able to support them the way they want, but their parent is full of prayer, go to church, claim to serve God and do a lot of things. like I said earlier, a number of things that older people believe, younger people are not believing it. The older people believe a number of preaching in churches in the 70s and 80s and 90s because of the prevalent ignorance deposited in the society. So a lot of things, even though they are wrong, but they are being preached, but they were believed and accepted, even though they are wrong. Even though they are wrong. But even some ministers of God, pastors, GO leaders in our days have admitted that some of those things they preach were not correct, were wrong. Some of them have admitted in our days. In our days. But those things were accepted before, but they are not accepted now. Why? In our days, there are more information available. Because there are more information available, a number of things that were accepted then cannot be accepted now. Because there are more information available. This is more alarming because the fact that many people that go to church, sing in church, preach in church, sing in church, serve in church, do not believe in God, is more alarming because it explains the reason why many people in our society today are just wallowing in religion. Many of them have doubts and concern about the concept of God. So this program is not aimed at indoctrinating people, but rather to challenge you to think. Think. The program is to challenge you to think. Please don't close your mind at new knowledge about God because it is not in the Bible. Because the Bible did not contain all that there is about our God. The Bible does not contain all that there is about God. The challenge of atheists is their limitation. And because their decision to be atheists is based on information they have now, when new facts emerge, they can change because they now have more information that makes being an atheist a dangerous place to be. That make being an atheist a dangerous place to be. There are some claims that Muslims make about their religious book that Christians must not make. The fact that their book came down from heaven, that's not the case of Christian Bible. If you make that claim, you are going to make atheists laugh at you. They claim that their Bible, their book is eternal, ours is not. The book is not. The book is not. The book can be applied based on the changing times. Based on the changing times. It doesn't remain like that forever. The principles is what is critical for us as believers. There are some things that were done in the Old Testament that you can't do in the New Testament. But the principle they apply in the Old Testament, you can apply in the New Testament. So, when the fact changed, the people changed. The atheists changed. This is because they cause people to believe there is no God today, but with possibility of changing that position tomorrow. Most atheists don't have problem with God, but rather the concept of God being presented to them. Most atheists really don't have problem with God. But the picture of God that we painted, the picture of God that we painted is defective. The picture of God that we painted is defective. If God is loving, why does he allow suffering? Because we don't look at God as someone who works based on principle. And he will not change his principle no matter how foolish a Christian behaves. That's why even men of God need to take care of themselves to be able to fulfill their calling and be able to do what they are called to do. If they don't, they will just die. If they don't take care of themselves. These people have issue with God that is not interested in development of mankind. They have issue with God that is emotional. They have issue with God that just kills senselessly. They have issue with God that only solves spiritual problem, but is not interested in economic problem. That's the picture of God we are presented to them. If you look at God from the lens of good or bad, you will make a big mistake. God do what is necessary per time, not what is good or what is bad. What is necessary for the advancement of his plan on the earth. God do what is necessary. Look at the case of Ukraine. Ukraine is the largest country in Europe with highest number of Christians, largest church. That is the country that has now been scattered. And some people have come out to say they believe this is necessary for them to carry the gospel to different parts of Europe. And a number of them are going to different parts of Europe as citizens, as residents. The way you look at it depends on you. But just know that God does what is necessary per time. If he allows something, it's not going to still what happened in Ukraine, but if he allowed it, rest assured he has a plan. He has a plan. He has a plan. And you had better know he has a plan. That what he could have prevented in his power, he allowed in his wisdom. Because he has a better plan. He is God. Nothing catch him by mistake or by accident. Now, atheists understand that they understand that there is transcendental energy that control the affair of earth. Atheists want to know who is God. Atheists want to know the gender of God. If he has a gender. They want to know if he has a race, because it appears now. Look at one of the big challenges Africans have with Christianity, particularly those that practice African traditional religion. A picture of Christianity is painted with a white Jesus and a black devil. The modern African people, they hate that label. Black Jesus, sorry, black devil, white Jesus. When you paint that kind of picture, you're saying black is evil, white is good. That's what you're painting. And the people that believe in African traditional religion or Pan-Africanism say, no, no, no. Christianity is not our religion. It's the religion of the white man. But that is even not true. That is even not true. Atheists want to know who is God. They want to know if he has a beginning and where he resides. The answer to these questions are not in the Bible, but atheists need answer. Those are the kind of questions I will attempt to answer in this series of conversation. Now, before I start, the last part of today's session is going to be devoted at one thing. And that one thing is Christianity a white man religion? Don't just say no, it's not. Show evidence. Some Africans are not accepting Christianity because it is seen as white man religion. Some Africans are not affecting Christianity because it is white man religion. Now, remember the topic is the faith, the fight of the faith. And the way we fight will determine the future of our faith. The faith, the fight of the faith, and the way we fight will determine the future. If we don't address this issue, our children are going to ask us that why is it that we're Christians? But Christianity is a white man religion. But that's not true. But that is what the Pan-Africanists have sold to us and make us believe. And make us believe. And that's the foundation I'll be laying today. In today's world, many New Age people are seeing the Bible and Christianity as religion of the white. But the black man is all over the Bible. The black man is all over the Bible. The black man can be seen in different parts of the Bible. Black men are already Christian. They already know God. Old and New Testament revealed to us before white brought Christianity to Africa. That's the first statement I want to make. Black man is all over the Bible. Also note that this black man is already a Christian before Christianity was brought to Africa. This black man can be seen that he knows God in both and New Testament. This black man already knew God before white man brought Christianity to Africa. So I must say at the beginning, white man did not bring Christianity to Africa. Christianity already exists in Africa before then, and I will show you soon. Also, I would like to say that when the scripture used the word nation in the Bible, it is different from the nation as we have it today. Nation in the Bible involve people of the same tribe. Unlike today, nation is seen as different tribe. In the Bible, nation is seen as the same tribe, but today is different tribe. And I'll be using that later on. The first man, Adam, was a man made from the earth. The word Adam is from the word Adama. Do you know what Adama means? Reddish brown earth. Reddish brown earth. Adama means reddish brown earth. That's very instructive. Reddish brown earth. That is the color. That is the color that of the man that was created. In today's categorization, this will be described as a black man. In today's categorization, that color will be described as a black man. The account of creation in Genesis, in scriptures in Genesis, was said to take place around a place called Ancient Near East. Ancient Near East. The account of creation in Genesis is said to take place in an area called Ancient Near East. This is the home of early civilization within a region roughly corresponding to the current day Middle East. Middle East. Middle East. So civilization actually started around the Middle East area. The account of creation around the Middle East area is called the Ancient Near East. Follow me. It's interesting to note that you will find very little about the European in the Bible. The Bible contains very little information about Europe, particularly in the Old Testament. Very little information about Europe. You only find more about Europe in the New Testament. Nimrod is a descendant of Ham. And if you track the lineage of Nimrod, there are names on the list that suggest it being a black man. There are names on the list. If you track his lineage, that suggests him being a black man. And Cush began Nimrod. He began to be mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and builded Nineveh, the city Rehoboth. This man was a strong man. Nimrod was described as the father of human race, who led the effort to build the Tower of Babel. Look at another man in the Bible, Jethro. Jethro was a priest of Midian. Jethro was a priest of Midian. Midian is a geographical place mentioned in Hebrew Bible and also mentioned in Quran. It was in northwest of the Arabian Peninsula on the east shore of Gulf of Aqaba on the Red Sea, an area which note shows that was not much settled until around 8th to 7th century before Christ. Midian, close to Red Sea. This man is a priest of Midian. A priest of Midian. A priest of Midian. Obviously, close to Africa. In fact, the scripture says, the story have it that Midian or the Midianites were descendants of Midian. The Midianites were descendants of Midian. Who was a son of Abraham and his wife of Keturah. Abraham had a wife called Keturah. Abraham took a wife called Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, Jokshan, Midan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. And Jethro was a priest of Midian. Jethro was a priest of Midian. It is uncertain which deities the Midianites worship. Through their apparent religious political connection with Moabites, they are thought to have worshipped a multitude, including Baal, Queen of Heaven, Ashtaroth. According to Karel Daton, by 14th century BC, because the cult of Yahweh had reached Israel, a group of Edomite and Midianite worshipped Yahweh as their God. This conclusion is based on the identification between Midianite and Shur. An Egyptian temple of Abor and Timah continued to be used during the Midianite occupation of the site. These Midianites were in Africa, and Jethro was a priest of Midian, a location in Africa. And Jethro already knew God. Jethro was a priest of Midian and is obviously a black man. And do you know Jethro is the one that introduced the concept of God to Moses? He introduced the concept of God to Moses, a black man, by the way. Before the Levitical priesthood, Jethro has been a priest. Levitical priesthood was in Leviticus. Jethro was already a priest in Exodus. Before Levitical priesthood, Jethro has been a priest, and this is possible because the people in Midian were descendants of Abraham. Remember, Abraham already understands the concept of God. He transferred that to the children Keturah born to him, and one of them is Midian, and hence Jethro could be a priest of Midian because they already have an understanding of God. They were black men, by the way. This black priest called Jethro was a mentor to Moses in spiritual matters. The children of Jethro, a black man, was begged by Moses to join Israel in the wilderness or desert to lead them to the promised land. This is because Israelite has been in servitude and do not know the way to Canaan land, but Jethro, the children, already live in the desert, so they know the road. These children of Jethro eventually joined the tribe of Judah. They joined the tribe of Judah. The children of Jethro that followed children of Israel, leading them to the land of Canaan, joined the tribe of Judah upon arrival in the land of Canaan. This tribe of Judah is also the kingly tribe, which is the tribe of David. And now, are you sure that it's not those black men among them that produced David? So the tribe in which David finds himself is already having black people among them. The woman called Bathsheba, which gave birth to Solomon, possessed evidence to show that she was a black woman. This Solomon most likely is a black man. So the visit of Queen of Sheba is the son of Bathsheba meeting the Queen of Sheba. The visit of the Queen of Sheba to Solomon is the son of Bathsheba, Solomon, meeting the Queen of Sheba. The Queen of Sheba was from area south of Israel, somewhere near today Yemen. So when people say today that the Bible is a white man book, it is a sign that they really do not know or they have not studied the Bible. They attributed Christianity to Europeans who were not even close to Asia Near East, where the whole thing began. You only see a European in the New Testament. Also, if you think of the man Simon of Cyrene, the one that brought help to Jesus, helped him to carry the cross on the way to Calvary, is an African man. His effort aided the burden of salvation that was borne by Christ. The burden of salvation that was borne by Christ. And it's a black man. And it's a black man. Cyrene is a location in North Africa, modern day Libya. A location in North Africa, modern day Libya. And his effort was what helped the salvation of mankind. The instruction was to preach the gospel in Jerusalem, in Judea, in Samaria, and the uttermost part of the world. After Jerusalem, Judea, then Samaria. After Samaria have had the gospel, Philip was commissioned to take the gospel to the uttermost part of the earth. And to do this, the gospel was preached by Philip to an African man called the Ethiopian eunuch. This was far before the gospel was brought to Africa by Europeans. Ethiopian eunuch. In the Bible, when the white man came to Africa, there was some parts that are yet to hear the gospel, no doubt, like West Africa. However, countries like Ethiopia already have ancient practice of Christianity that predate the arrival of colonial master from Europe. It is also important to state that all races are equal before God because he created everyone, even though he chooses to reveal himself through the Israelites. That does not make them better. And I will talk about the reason why in the course of this. Why did he choose to reveal himself through Israelites? Because that does not make the Israelites better than us. It is not historically accurate to say that Christianity is a white man religion or European religion. Christianity is not a white man religion, neither is Christianity a Jewish religion. Christianity is not even a religion. It's a relationship with God. And you can be anywhere in the world, either there is church or no church, and you can have a relationship with God. Anywhere in the world. Because it's all about relationship. Europeans did not set their foot on Africa to colonize Africa until 1400 AD. 1400 after death of Christ. But within 100 years after death of Christ, the Ethiopian eunuch already had about Christ. They were on a mission to explore for commercial purpose, but eventually colonialism happened. Their mission was basically to trade, to rule, and to mission. Trade was for the purpose of sourcing raw material for their factory. Political power was to rule and set up colony, and the missionary effort was to provide support like education and health, even though the missionary effort was also used to colonize our mind. Some people say their mission in Africa is 3 C's: civilize, commercialize, and colonize. These 3 were carried out by different teams, even though they are from the same source. Those that were to civilize were different from those that commercialized, were different from those that colonized. Those that civilized were those that preached the gospel to us. The church was not fully part, and even though some support it, they're not fully part of the slavery and colonization. And that was why they were part of those that fought against colonization and apartheid in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I will end here today. Let me hear from you what you have learned today. Let me hear from you. What have you learned today? I hope this will be an interesting session as we go forward. And sincerely, I'll be glad to hear from you and to know your thoughts on what we have discussed today. Let me start from you, Deji. Long time. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you. Just almost at
You said what?
but tonight I was just at the most time I always miss the timing.
Oh, okay.
For the program. Yeah. Always engaged for me, so that's why. Yeah, but tonight has been wow, it has been wonderful. You know, like you said, we got different wrong information. So, a lot of information that was wrongly projected to us, and that is why we find ourselves in that. You know, like the issue of saying Jesus is white and the devil is black.
Devil is black.
And the Bible never stated that for us. So that's why it makes the white look at us as if they are devilish and everything. They always feel differently. And you said something like that was so striking. the white people are not the one that brought Christianity to Africa.
No.
It was an eye opener. Because that's our belief that they brought it for us. They brought Christianity, brought Bible, they made us to know that okay, there's someone Jesus. Before they do that, all Africans they are idol worshippers.
Yes.
So they are the ones to know that okay, there's someone called Jesus Christ and that. But tonight, make us know that don't even from Bible that Africans has been in the Bible, black has been in the Bible, and it was very eye opener. And that's one thing that anything I got tonight. That was good. Taking us to know that the black people that are in the Bible, not they didn't come from that race, that planet, the Bible, and so they've known God even before the whites brought anything for us. So that was so smart.
All right, thank you. The favored one. I like that your name. The favored one.
Good evening, sir.
Anna.
Good evening, everyone. Fine, thank you, sir. Today I've actually learned about the Bible. You know, most times we maybe because of the way we received Christianity,
Yes.
more emphasis have been on maybe the stories and not details.
Yes.
So you probably learn stories and then you don't even know why. And then at the end of the day, you get it mixed up because you don't even know how it relates. Like the narration you just gave now, explaining the history, as in going down memory lane and then linking it to Ethiopia, linking it to the Black persons. These are not things that we learned.
Yeah.
The things we just heard from the Bible is this white man brought the Bible, and even funny enough for us, I just want to touch on that black and white thing, because even that black and white thing has gone beyond the devil is black and God is white. So even sometimes they'll tell you don't wear black, don't do this. So it's really it's that bad. I while you were speaking, I just remembered a story where I was on the road and somebody walked up to me and he just said to me, don't wear black at all. Oh. Hope you don't used to wear any black dress. I was like, funny enough, I even like the color to start with. And to know that God made all the colors, why would this one be separated and be attributed to something? Some will even say, don't wear black to sleep. You know, there's so many now attributing those things. Why? Because they think that just as they've been told, or we've been told, the devil is black. So we should run away from anything that appears to be black, and anything that is white, is purity, is good, is. So people even go as far as on wedding days fighting to want to wear white. Oh no, you've had a child before, don't wear white, wear black. So there's so many things around these things, and it's just because we don't have detailed knowledge of the Bible. One thing I've taken away tonight is I know that I'm in to actually learn a lot about detailed information, where I'm now able to see and appreciate things differently. God, like you mentioned, actually loves every race, and every race is important to God. And so if we understand these facts and we understand the true details or true meaning of the writings in the scripture, then we're able to stand and defend our faith and say, yes, we understand what we're doing and we know what we're doing. Like you mentioned also, the children are going to actually ask a lot of questions, and anybody that knows now, they've even started asking, and there are too many things that are happening that will give them reasons not to want to believe or accept if we cannot defend or say, oh no, this is actually the right thing. This is how this happened in the Bible. So all those stories about maybe David, about this person's doing. I didn't even know there was this person you mentioned while you were teaching. I've forgotten his name now. This strong man, I know as a child we used to. I think, was it Jephthah you mentioned? I think it was Jephthah or somebody you mentioned, a strong man, Jethro. You know, in the Bible, when they say, when we were growing up, we just say, yeah, it's Jethro. So, you know, sometimes even as a child, you now ask yourself, but the whites, this structure, when it describes some structures in the Bible, I think for me, that was what was different as a child. I used to say, if they say this person's structure was in this particular way, I don't see it often like that in the white people. Even the picture of Jesus Christ being white have been a very controversial issue, because a lot of people are like, oh, was Jesus really like this? Even some maybe other religions, when they want to argue with us, they'll say those pictures that you put that you say that's Jesus, was that Jesus? So, and then you see that you're not able to explain it. I look forward to actually learning a lot and being able to get answers to certain questions I myself will probably have had or will still have at the back of my mind relating to it. So thank you very much. I did learn a lot tonight.
And in the course of the week, if you have questions, I already have about 50 questions I want to answer over the couple of weeks. Maybe we'll finish around May or around June. But if you have other questions you will want us to answer, you can ask during the week. I can research it and probably add some of those questions to my question if I don't already have answers to them. All right, Favor, the second Favor Atasie. How are you?
Fine, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, everybody. Okay, although I actually joined late because I was like sleeping, but I've learned one or two things like from this session. I've been able to understand that Christianity is not just a religion; it's a relationship.
Yeah.
And that this Christianity of a thing, it's not a white man's religion only, because even before the colonialism and Europeans coming to Africa, some Africans already had relationship with God. So because I actually know some people that they're like, this is a white man's religion.
Yeah.
Before they came, we're doing idol worship, blah blah blah. Let's continue that stuff.
Yeah.
But I've really have the understanding of the concept that even before they came, some Africans they were already in touch with God. They already had a relationship with God. So I think that I've been really qualified on that area. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know it's a very common topic or question or what people say that Christianity is white man religion. Christianity is not white man religion. And Christianity is not even a religion. It's not even a religion. It's not even a religion. And like I said, in the coming day, we'll be discussing a lot. And the objective of this basically is to strengthen our faith and make us to have a good reason for believing what we believe, not because someone said it, but because we believe that is the truth, so that we can be able to answer people who ask us the reason for what we believe. Thank you very much. See you next week. Have a wonderful weekend and bye-bye.